Good day, everyone. Thank you for joining me on this Thurstea Thursday, where we are joining together to reveal these pick-a piles, right? With these crystals and these teas. And this series has really driven me in a sense to start learning some more about other things. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about what the one moment. So today, I'm going to be talking a little bit about what each of these teas, kind of what they can be used for herbally, kind of what their medicinal purposes, if you will, are for our being, and kind of some of what these crystals also have, like the healing abilities for these things. Okay, let's move forward. So first we're going to start with the dandelion caramel nut, which I actually chose this. I wasn't, um, it was interesting. I had a little moment with myself because I really, really enjoy the cherryite crystal, but I was not drawn to the tea, and I really was looking for the herbal, like the earthly medicinal properties to put inside of my body, not just energetically, from crystals. So the dandelion caramel nut really kind of resonated with me, and dandelion is really good for high blood pressure and potassium. And like it helps with your potassium. So I don't know. I guess maybe my blood pressure may be a little high. I know I've been experiencing some anxiety upon waking up. So I've been navigating that energy. And something I've been doing for myself that's been helping me combat that is I kind of lay down for about an hour before I actually get out of bed. I wake up and then I lay there and bring myself center before before I put myself into the reality, right? So I'm not surprised that that's kind of where I was navigated to, because soda light is what was with this tea. Soda light is also really good for emotional clarity. So it's a really pretty. This is a polished gem, polished crystal. Raw crystals have they usually have a different they have a different color to them, if you will. So that's pile one. So let's dive into pile one. Okay. Okay. That's pretty. Okay, so first I'll start with the true black. We have the reverse King of Pentacles. So maybe some internal masculine balancing, maybe. And that's kind of, I guess that's kind of the vibe I'm getting from it, because with this card, so I got a new deck. And I got two new decks that I'm kind of revealing also in this. One of them is just the soul cards, and so they have this artwork on them, and they have have no explanation to them. It's a completely intuitive card, because think about this. Each time you draw the card, that energy is going to be different, because each now moment is a different energy. So say for instance, right, this pile today we had the dandelion tea and the sodalite crystal and this card, but say 4 or 5 weeks down the road it's in a completely different pile, and could have a completely different meaning. So that it's beautiful how these cards have that ability, and it opens the finiteness of the human existence to infinity, which is an aspect of the soul and of the spirit that we all have within ourselves. So these cards called out to me. I stood in front of the tarot cards in this place called Enchanted, or Enchantments, I think, or some one of those enchantments, yeah. So I stood there in front of them for quite a while, and this deck was actually in the back on the top shelf behind some other things. So yeah, it's interesting. So this card, and again, you see that the balance of the masculine and the feminine here, right? That duality. I also see here like an angelic message. So it's like an angel giving a human a message, or, you know, some sort of guide from the other realm, visiting, you know, to help. And it's to help balance. And the other card is 40, Pachama. So some activations through emotional balance. Okay. So I'm seeing the bird reference in both of these cards, and then so the answers you seek are within. That's literally what I see here. And it's when you sit in meditation, you will find, like, okay, I see now. Your guides and your ancestors and the spirit realm are asking you to sit in meditation, and here you will find like an activation. If you call upon your spirit guides and your ancestors, they will come. So just understanding that and dropping to your heart space and knowing that the contact that you receive is that exactly what that is, and opening yourself up to that type of interaction with that realm. Don't be afraid. They're here to help us along our journey. You know, we oftentimes find ourselves in a we take life very seriously, right? And with the King of Pentacles reverse, that's literally what I see, is like you're taking life too seriously, and like the ancestors are asking you to like drop back and really be present. That's how you can be. That's the best way to be yourself, is to be present, without like without the emotional clouding, right? Just maintaining that love vibration within. And that's kind of what I'm getting with this card, with the 40, right? So 4, that's the heart chakra. And the heart chakra really is the gateway or a portal to, you know, our pineal gland, which is, you know, that third eye sight, and then ultimately our crown chakra, which reflects our vibration within our body. So the more open you are in your mind and heart, and the less that you allow your emotions to cloud what you're experiencing, and you take the experience for what it is, and you allow yourself to just be present and maintain that observational love, that neutrality, you know, and just understand it is part of your journey, like, otherwise you wouldn't be there. You'll find, you know, more synchronicity and more opportunity in life. That's yeah, that's beautiful. Beautiful message. All right, so let's move on to pile 2. And this is brought to us by raspberry hibiscus tea. And raspberry is actually raspberry leaf, is really good for uh, balancing the menstrual cycle. And hibiscus is also a diuretic, so it's really good for blood pressure, which is, again, you tie that into the with raspberry. It's really good for like cramps and those type of things, like inflammation. And then cherryite, which interestingly enough, is really good for healing pain and trauma from past lives. And if you're aware of any type of maternal traumatic, like, or generational trauma, pretty much, these two these two things go together very well, and I didn't actually know that before I put them together and then kind of did some research, and then I was like, oh, that's beautiful. Life is a journey. So yeah, let's see what this pile has for us today. Okay. So we have Empress. That's pretty. Which, if you tie in all of that, that is a beautiful message. Wow. Okay. Sorry, you can. It's triggering my throat. And again, with the soul cards, this is completely intuitive, so I'm gonna sit with this for a moment. This has an intense message. This is um because I'm pretty sure the Empress has the serotonin molecular structure at the top. Oh, my left ear just started ringing. I think I might be right on that one. 41, the rainbow. Wow. Yeah. Which is, you put 4 and 1 together, that's 5, and we're in year 5, so this is like the rise of the divine feminine, which is wild if you think about the first pile. If you're here just for the second pile, the first pile was really about like balancing that masculine and feminine, and like receiving that guidance from the subconscious. But this is like embodying the subconscious and healing that, and really standing in your divine feminine and your the power of the heart that has been tried to be wiped clean from Mother Earth. That energy is really coming through in this reading, and it's interesting that this card is coming out, because my partner and I actually talked about, as you see, I have a yellow dot on my third eye. It's actually turmeric, and turmeric, which we'll learn a little bit more about in the next reading, it helps decalcify the pineal gland. So something that we've been talking about is our next menstrual cycle, actually putting our menstrual blood on our third eye, to connect to that energy and draw it, and actually intentionally draw it to us. Just the same way as we're doing with the turmeric to help decalcify, intentionally our pineal gland. Not only, like, we also drink spring water, which, to kind of help get those chemicals out of the water. If you're not aware of city water, it has fluoride and stuff in it. So, yeah. It really looks okay. So, yeah, it's some. Okay. Trust yourself. Trust your intuition. The more you weave the inner web of infinity within, the further along you go, but you don't move. It's something that's being drawn to you. And as you heal and you let go of what you believe to be limiting you, so it's literally like a self-limiting belief. So when you reflect within and you allow your reality around to show you what is holding you back within. So it's really about what is trapping your mind in this box, because your heart knows what's true. You have to allow your mind to maintain focused on that truth and what your heart knows to be true. and and through maintaining this connection, you kind of build the rainbow. It's kind of like building your own rainbow bridge. So what I'm being drawn to now is I was writing, I think in my journal or something, about like a lot of people have this idea of like something's coming to save them. Like they're waiting for something to happen, something to save them, something to just something. You know what I mean? They're waiting for something. Whatever that something is, like they're waiting for something. So they're waiting to do something for something else. And what I'm really seeing here is like there is no waiting. Like you are your own savior. Like you have to start making the actions and trusting your intuition and knowing that you are exactly where you're meant to be. And that's that divine feminine intuitive nature that's coming through, and we all have that within us. It doesn't matter whether you're a man or a woman. It really does not matter your gender. Our hearts are genderless. So love sees no gender. So there are no boundaries except for the ones that our mind places on our heart. So now you see that mind and heart struggle. And so actually I'm being brought to this back to this idea of it's like riding a horse. So had this conversation with this woman named Crystal. I met her through Instagram, and divine connection, quite literally. Like she helped me unlock something within myself that I didn't quite understand needed to be unlocked, and so it's beautiful, and I can't explain it, but she talked about, like we were talking about the four horsemen, and it's about knowing where your heart is and knowing that you are exactly where you're meant to be, and maintaining that balance and not allowing your head to get ahead or behind you. And I think when you're riding a horse, there's a lot of that type of balance. You want to maintain the center point of gravity on a horse, which is your heart, right? Your energetic force. So when you're riding a horse in the world, if you allow that horse, which they're very intuitive, by the way, they are beautiful creatures, and they are connected to Mother Earth in a way that we could learn something about. Reading the Tao Equus, if you're not familiar with it, is a beautiful book. And it will really unlock that for you. But that's the image that I'm getting, is really like riding that horse, through an open field, and allowing that horse to guide you, and knowing that it's not going to hurt you. And that's what we have to allow our minds to do, is be free and just experience that freedom in that way, and know that the path that we're on is exactly the path that we need to be on, and there's no wrong way. So yeah, that's a beautiful message. And again, I just want to show those cards to you one more time. You got the Empress. And again, this doesn't have a name, but it's got like a very divine feminine like imprint, and really I don't see a gender here. It's just a being with to me it looks like leaf imprints, but also like bloody leaf imprints, but not in like a scary or demonic type of way, but a very divine feminine type of way that has been demonized or taboo for quite some time. If you're not familiar with free bleeding and that type of thing, that's why I talked about the blood on the third eye. Is something I've also been navigating, is ingesting menstrual blood. Like there are a lot of healing qualities in menstrual blood, and something else that I came across is, think about this. When you think of every bodily function as a ritualistic thing that we do, because it's the body functions are the emotional triggers within ourselves that connect us to spirit. So where we put our fluids does really kind of matter. And I know that's kind of like maybe like a very far out thing to think about, but it's something I've been sitting with, especially with my menstrual blood, and understanding the energy that it holds. So when you sit with that, And when you dump your blood down the toilet, like, what energy, where are you giving your energy to? You're giving your energy to the matrix system. So that's just something to think about. And that's kind of what this makes me think of. Just free bleeding and being within your feminine. And if you don't bleed, you're, more masculine in some way. Um, honoring that feminine aspect of yourself more. Maybe paint your fingernails, wear a dress, do your makeup, you know, get pretty. However that looks for you, no matter where you are, what it is. You know what I mean? Like, to me, this is getting pretty sometimes to me. So just do what you do. All right. Let's move on to pile number 3. Matcha green tea. So green tea is really good for health, heart health, and is also a diuretic, if I'm not mistaken. Caffeine really is a diuretic, if you're not aware. And then turmeric is specifically good for irritable bowel syndrome and rheumatoid arthritis. And it's the curcumin, the yellow within the turmeric. That's what gives it the property. Yeah, inflammation. And that's what gives it the anti-inflammatory properties. So what else? Oh, and then again, turmeric decalcifies the third eye, and antioxidants all around. So tea, if you're not seeing, is really good to add into your diet. It's a way to take your health into your own hands, and it's a way to intuitively listen to your body. You get a bunch of different teas, and each day you're like, what am I feeling? And you just kind of like, sometimes I just close my eyes, sometimes I look, but don't think about it. Just grab and go with it. That's how you listen to your heart and start trusting your intuition. So Merlinite is what the crystal that goes with this third pile. And Merlinite is really good for connecting to your psychic abilities, and dream work, that type of thing. See what message we got for you today. Ooh. All right, so you got the reverse Nine of Cups. So some internal work. Maybe some greed, hoarding, not seeing the abundance that you do have. You have a lot of abundance around you, and you may be not seeing it. I mean, I still, and that kind of, it's the message I even see in this. You see, like, it almost looks like you're, woe is me. That's kind of what I'm getting. Like, you're missing something. And I think this is what's keeping you from maybe accessing some psychic abilities and tapping into your heart. So if you think about anti-inflammatory, right, and diuretics, which a lot of these have, is like that heart health is like, how much love are you putting into your reality? Are you asking, and not really putting back out in any way? And then I got the reverse ghost dance. So that's 22 reversed, or 4. So again, that heart, you know, it's really about seeing that shadow and allowing yourself to let go of the idea that you don't have abundance. And look, you even have green matcha. So green, that heart. So it's really about loving and healing that heart space and listening and observing your reality in a different manner. And you can find the answers in meditation. Connect to your spirit guides. Open yourself up more to the other side, the other reality. They're asking us. They are seeking. I don't want to say they're seeking, because they're not really seeking, but they're always there, at like pretty much waiting, in a sense, for us to interact with them, and they really do enjoy interacting with us. It's beautiful, and the more that you step into your heart and your soul, and you kind of release the beliefs and limitations and the ideas of what life is supposed to look like, you can really start to experience more and not really go anywhere. So you think about this quarantine, right? If you aren't leaving your house, you can feel very stuck or stagnant, but think about all the things that you can do in your house. I've meditated for an hour and traveled the universe. So if I can do that in 1 hour, what can you do in a whole day? So again, this is kind of like, how are you spending your time? Like, where are you devoting your attention? And you're keeping yourself blocked is kind of what the message that I'm getting here from whatever internal, like some sort of internal battle with with a lot of different belief systems, really. And I can't really pinpoint it, because it's like there's, so what I'm being brought to is the idea that most, and the turmeric is really bringing this out, and the gold here is the sacral chakra, right, is orange, and it's where most of our emotions are. It's tied to the gut, to our emotions, to the water, which you can kind of see here. And our emotions keep us stuck and keep us in this like ghost dance, a dance with our shadow. And if we're constantly dancing with the devil, right? Constantly dancing with the devil, you're you're not you're not going to progress along your own internal path, along your own personal destiny. So it's like, and you could really say this about any of the piles, but specifically about this one, is like choosing fate or destiny. Like, fate is something that kind of I see happens to you, and destiny I see is something that you choose. It's like, what are you willing to do with your life? So where are you putting your focus, your energy? What crafts are you bringing into this reality? It's really stepping into that divine nature, and all of these talk about that, like stepping into that divine nature, and that's an intuitive mind. So really sitting in the seat of the soul, allowing your soul to be present, and that's kind of you. That's the energy that encompasses this physical body, because we're really not this physical body. We're more than that. So yeah, it's my little wand, and so it is. Thank you for joining me. Yeah, that's all I have. So thank you for joining me. Infinite love, infinite light, and infinite movement, my friend. Namaste.